There's one thing Donald Trump hasn't yet talked about since winning the White House: retribution. Talks about it all the time, though, on the campaign trail, didn't he?
For hardworking Americans, November 5th will be our new Liberation Day, but for the liars and cheaters and fraudsters and censors and imposters who have commandeered our government, it will be their Judgment Day. We pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs. I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
Trump could very well aim his retribution at the Justice Department, the same DOJ that has investigated him several times, including the Trump-Russia probe, his handling of classified documents, and, of course, the investigation into his efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. The last two led to charges against him. But the classified docs case, that was tossed out. The election case will likely end once he takes office, and DOJ employees are paying attention to Trump's warning of retribution. In fact, Politico reports they are, quote, terrified of Trump's return. Joining me now, the reporter behind this scoop, Josh Gerstein, senior legal affairs reporter for Politico. Josh, welcome. Look, you report that there's a sense of dread. We're talking 115,000 DOJ employees. A lot of them are careers, meaning they're not appointed, they're not political appointees. How are they preparing and really accepting or not his return?
Well, you know, a lot of them went through a Trump administration already. That was very turbulent for the Justice Department. I remember being called in several times when people were, we think Jeff Sessions is going to be fired today. We think Rod Rosenstein is going to be fired today. It was a case where there was constant warring between the Justice Department and the White House, all kinds of back and forth at a level that you just never see during a normal administration. And the people I've spoken to are convinced that this new administration, the second go-round for Trump, is going to be that, but just taken up an order of magnitude or two orders of magnitude in terms of chaos, upheaval, and, as you were mentioning earlier, the potential for retribution against the Justice Department, and also the Justice Department being asked to sort of turn its focus on entities that maybe people there are not really interested in prosecuting, like fellow prosecutors from New York or Georgia, or maybe even prosecutors within their own department.
I've been a career prosecutor under two administrations. That's not tenable. It's not sustainable to have them operating under that sort of Damocles with all the work they actually have to do to think, is this the day that what I'm actually working on is taken away or I'm punished for doing my job? And it's not just the DOJ employees. We had Mark Zaid on our airwaves earlier today. He's a national intelligence lawyer. And there are others outside of DOJ employees who are so worried about retribution that he is actually advising them in some respects to even maybe leave the country for a while. Listen to what he said.
I'm not saying sell your home, move overseas, never come back, become an expat. I'm telling certain clients, a small number, that, you know what, take a vacation for inauguration and let's see what happens in the days or week or two afterwards.
Are some Trump critics actually considering this?
Yeah, I mean, look, within the department, especially the people I think that are the most concerned at this point, are people that have ties of any kind to the investigations of Trump, to the prosecutions of Trump, to Special Counsel Jack Smith, to Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Anybody who served in even a minor or arguably a trivial capacity in any of those investigations is concerned, maybe at the higher level that they might potentially be prosecuted or targeted by the new administration. And at the lower level, I think the concern is that they might just be shuffled off to some desk in the corner of the department or sent to Alaska or something like that, where they're just going to be essentially marginalized for Trump's entire term. And they have to think carefully about the professional consequences of whether they want to stick around for that.
What is Trump's vision of an AG this time around? I mean, he had several the first time, beginning with Jeff Sessions. And of course, we've seen the Jeff Sessions to the Bill Barrs and beyond, how he viewed that particular role. Loyalty was essential. Has that changed this time around?
Well, I think he's probably still looking for retribution and looking for people that will carry out his vendettas and target people in the way that he has always talked about prosecutors targeting people. He believed that Democratic prosecutors did this to him, did this to other people, and he wanted to see that done for him. I think there are already people around him that are trying to focus him more on an agenda of reform. They think there need to be changes in the way the department does things, and they might desire that he appoint someone who maybe would be seen as a more competent manager. As you mentioned, 115,000 employees. It's not a trivial kind of workforce to try to manage. He might need somebody that can be taken seriously in leading that kind of a department rather than somebody that's just going to come in and sort of flail around, which I think is the way Trump views his attorneys general having been the last time, that they didn't get the job done. You see these arguments being made to Trump sort of behind the scenes, and we don't quite know yet what type of person he's going to pick.
Well, one of the moments I think we all remember during his first administration was the firing of FBI Director James Comey. It's intended for the FBI director to have a period of tenure that goes beyond a 4-year administration. Do you see Christopher Wray as holding on to his job in this next administration?
I think it's going to be very, very difficult. If you look at the coterie of people around Trump and the things that they've said about Christopher Wray, if you look at the things that the Republicans on Capitol Hill that are closest to Trump have said about Christopher Wray, I think they say that they gave him sort of a chance to try to fix a lot of the problems that they thought they saw coming in to the administration in terms of Trump's concerns about surveillance directed at his campaign or his campaign advisors the last time around, 2016. And they just don't think that Wray has done enough to reform the place. My sense is that we'll see Chris Wray depart one way or another sometime before or after the inauguration. And then Trump will have to see about potentially appointing a new FBI director.
Which then, of course, adds a whole different layer to the idea of instability and the absence of institutional knowledge in that particular sector, a very important one, especially. Josh, thank you so much for joining us.